Time to meet the men from the Ministry. We're about to strike more low notes in high places with Norma, Ronald, Ronald Baddiley, John Graham, Hilary Pritchard, and the men from the Ministry, Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. It's a busy life in the General Assistant's office, a constant round of problems, decisions, experiment and effort. But in the end, there's the feeling of achievement. Something attempted, something done, has earned a night's repose.
Well, Joe, you've done a good day's work.
Thank you, Ron. I must say it hasn't been easy. Breaking new ground, probing beneath the surface.
Never mind, it was worth it. I've never seen our window boxes looking so neat.
The whole of Whitehall's gone window box mad this year.
Yes, yes.
They've got some remarkable creepers at the Foreign Office.
No doubt the Arts Council will have their usual display of pansies.
I believe the Minister of Welsh Affairs has a leak in his window box.
Two, these things that you've planted are lobelia and fuchsia, aren't they?
No, I was going to send off for some of those, but then I found I couldn't spell them, so I ordered tulips.
Oh, I see. Well, you've got some bulbs left over. Perhaps we could plant them in the office.
It would need somewhere very quiet, where they won't be disturbed.
Yeah, well, let's get some earth and plant a few in my in tray.
And if I take my washing out of the fire bucket, we could put some in there.
Splendid. Now, what about the pots with the hyacinth bulb?
They need to be out of the light. We'll keep these blue ones behind the curtain.
Good thinking, yes.
I'll put a note for the cleaners in case they move them.
Right.
There we are. We'll be better off behind the curtain. And those red ones can go under the desk.
Well done, well done. Now, is there any more work to do, or should we toddle off home? It's gone 3:30, you know.
Well, there's that top-secret job for the Ministry of Defence.
Oh, is there?
You remember we had to cost that big NATO exercise, but I can't understand the figures.
Then do what we usually do with public money. Think of a number, double it, add 3 noughts, and stamp it agreed.
Good idea.
Excuse me, sir. I thought I should warn you. Sir Gregory's on his way over.
The Permanent Under-Secretary? But we've done nothing wrong this week.
Mind you, it is only Monday.
He rang to ask if you could spare him a couple of minutes.
Did he? He's not normally as civil as that.
Well, he didn't actually quite use them words. What he actually said was, are them 2 layabouts in?
That sounds more like Sir Gregory.
Mind you, he hasn't bothered us much lately.
Well, he's been off on that fact-finding tour, hasn't he? Studying heavy industry in Capri.
And no doubt with Miss Bentwater from the typing pool to take down everything he said.
Now they're back, he's given her a fur coat.
Ah, something to keep her warm.
No, something to keep her quiet.
Right. I want a word with you two.
Hello, Sir Gregory.
Have you costed that NATO exercise yet?
We're just putting the finishing touches to it.
Good, good, because you're both to go off on a course.
That's very kind of you, sir. We could do with a rest.
A rest? You don't know what good hard work is.
What good is it?
Now, this course will be different from previous ones. You'll be living in, for a start, at a large country house in Surrey, a place called Surley Manor.
Oh, and what is the purpose of the course, sir?
Well, it's to find bright administrative talent and develop it for leadership.
Ah, yes. And you've recognized our potential, sir?
No, you're the only people with nothing to do, so you're to make up the numbers.
Thank you very much.
2 men dropped out at the last minute. You're a late addition to the course.
Do you think we'll enjoy it there, sir?
I don't know, but I'll enjoy it here. You'll be out of my hair for 7 whole days. Somewhere where you can't possibly do anything wrong.
Oh, look at the time, too. Do you realize we're 7 hours late? That's a splendid start to a leadership course.
Anyone can make a mistake.
I certainly made a mistake. I should never have allowed you to navigate in the first place.
Well, all those maps in the car. How was I to know I was looking at the map of France?
Now, what's round this bend? Ah, a T-junction. Now, which way do we go? Left?
Right.
Right.
No, left. I mean, you were right. What a rude gesture. We didn't ask him to drive into the hedge. I think he called you a road hog.
You should have called him a hedgehog. Oh, dear me. Well, now then, wait a minute. This is Oak Lane, yes. And that sign says Surley Hall. Well, we're here at last.
Thank heavens for that. Funny, I thought Sir Gregory said Surley Manor.
Oh, well, I expect they use both names. Anyway, we haven't time to check, thanks to your bungling. Right, well, let's go in and see. Straighten your tie, too.
Ready, are we? Everybody seated? Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Surley Hall Health Hydro. My name, by the way, is Hale, and this is my colleague, Mr. Harty. We shall be looking after you and trying to make your stay as beneficial as possible. While you're here, you'll be devoting your time to meditation, contemplation, yoga, rejuvenating exercises, and starvation. I would just ask you not to exercise in the nude on the East Lawn. There's a civil service course next door at Surley Manor, and we wouldn't want them peering at our calisthenics.
Good evening. My name's Lennox-Brown, and this is Richard Lamb. We're here for the course.
Oh, yes?
We're sorry we're late, but I took the wrong map and he took the wrong turning, and he wished he hadn't done it in the first place. And this lorry driver got awfully annoyed just after we'd gone round the bend.
My junior colleague is trying to say that we're a late addition to the course.
Oh, that would explain why your names are not on my list. Obviously, a delay in the post. Yes. Well, not to worry. You're very welcome. Very.
Thank you very much.
Yes, not at all. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you all to be in bed by 8. You have a strenuous day tomorrow.
Don't we get anything to eat? I fancy a nice thick steak.
Oh, well, you won't get one here, I'm afraid, and the evening snack's already been taken. Why don't you try a little yoga before you turn in?
Better than nothing, I suppose. Have you got strawberry flavour?
I'm sorry. So am I, my dear sir. Oh, come along, too. You've made enough trouble for one day. Get to bed like the man said.
I must say, one isn't at all what I expected. My room was like a cell, and I had to lie on the floor.
Spend the night on the floor?
It was softer than the bed.
Well, don't forget, they're selecting future leaders. I expect they're assessing character and discipline. A week of this, and we'll be ready for promotion. And extra luncheon vouchers.
It wouldn't be so bad if they gave us a proper breakfast. One piece of bread and butter. And that was as thin as a paper doily.
Oh, don't be daft, too. That was a paper doily. Your breakfast was on the plate. A slice of lemon and a hazelnut.
I thought that was the pattern on the dish.
Good morning, gentlemen. I'd like you to join the others downstairs. We're going to have an hour's contemplation.
Contemplation?
Well, you know the sort of thing, too. Just sitting staring into space, keeping the mind blank.
Oh, well, I suppose it's better than doing nothing.
Actually, Mr. Hale, you'll find we're quite skilled, you know, in the art of contemplation.
But, of course, contemplation has to be augmented by physical effort.
Oh.
Now, I've brought a typed list of exercises you must carry out each day.
Exercise 1, the handstand. This looks rather tricky.
Well, it's just standing on the hands with the feet in the air so the blood rushes to your head. Does marvels for the brain.
What, a head full of foot blood?
Ideally, of course, you should do these exercises in the nude.
Oh, I'd rather not if you don't mind. Nudity leaves me cold.
We must free the body to free the mind, Mr. Lamb. However, a light garment may be worn. A loincloth will cover your requirements.
Exercise 2 involves hopping over a rope, I see.
Yes, a lot of people skip that, but I would like you to do it if you can.
Yes.
After your week here, you'll find you're a better person physically and mentally, ready to help and lead your fellow men in the quest for the highest ideals. After our contemplation, we're off on a cross-country run.
I must say it's a very odd way of training civil servants. Cross-country running, standing on our heads.
That'll be for the next time the government reverses its policy. Well, it's obviously all some trendy new technique.
Well, I'll be glad when we're back in the ministry.
Yeah.
I wonder how they're getting on without us.
Yes.
Good morning, Lord Stilton. Do come in, sir. And what can I do for you?
Thank you. I'll have a large one and just a dash of soda. You don't seem very busy, Pitkin.
Yeah, I was just snatching a break, sir. Having a read, as a matter of fact.
Oh, yes. This magazine bell on the cover. And no cover on the cover.
No, of course not. Calling Wyatt on desk. Possibly my secretary is a funny woman, yes. No, I have been reading that book you lent me, Vipers in Our Bosom.
Oh, yes, the one about spies and defectors in government circles.
That's right, sir. Oh, your drink.
Oh, thank you. A fascinating book, what? Shows there are traitors everywhere.
Yes.
Let me have the book back as soon as you finish, will you? The PM's very keen to read it.
Very good, sir. If I get the end by Friday, I'll leave it on my desk here so you can collect it on Monday. I shan't be in till Wednesday. I'm taking a long weekend.
Oh, lucky fella.
Well, a working weekend, of course. I find I work better in the country where I can get some peace. I've just bought this cottage in Sussex, and I take my papers down there.
Oh, very commendable, very commendable.
I may get a girl from the typing pool to come down and handle my memos. There's one who often helps me out when I need it. Hello, Pitkin here.
Sybil Tanner speaking. I'm running the civil service course at Surley Manor.
Ah, you're Miss Tanner from Surley Manor.
You nominated 2 executives, Lennox-Brown and Lamb, as a late addition to the course. We're wondering why they haven't arrived. They were due 2 days ago.
Haven't arrived? Well, that's odd. They left here. I know. I had an extra brandy to celebrate.
Well, perhaps you'd be kind enough to let me know what's happened to them.
Certainly, madam. I'll ring them back. Goodbye. Lennox-Brown and Lamb haven't turned up for that course at Surley Manor.
That's strange.
I'd better go along to their office and see if the secretary knows anything.
Yes, well, I'll come with you, Pitkin. We must get to the bottom of this.
I can't understand it at all. Hello? There's no one here.
Well, curiouser and curiouser. I hope they haven't defected to the east, what?
No chance of that, sir. Not Lennox-Brown and Lamb.
You're convinced of their loyalty?
No, sir. They haven't got the brains.
Just a minute, Pitkin. There's a note on the table. Good Lord, man. Look at this.
We'll be better off behind the curtain. Good grief, they have defected. They're fleeing behind the Iron Curtain.
And it seems to be signed, Reds under the desk. Oh, they've been quite blatant about it.
I should have guessed, of course. All the signs were there. Lamb wore a Cossack hat last winter.
Oh, Sir Gregory and Lord Stilton.
You're late, Miss Muffin.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sir Gregory. I overslept.
Indeed. You'll sleep at home as well.
Miss Melvin, Mr. Lennox-Brown and Mr. Lamb have disappeared. They haven't turned up at their course.
Oh.
It's a very serious matter. What was their attitude like in the last few days before they left?
Yes, were they behaving strangely?
Yes, sir. Everything was just as usual. They were busy with the plans for the NATO exercise.
The NATO exercise? Great heavens, it's worse than I thought.
They had the NATO plans, and they saw the chance to make a break for it. Just like that other pair. The Foreign Office sent them to Paris, and they quietly diverted to Moscow.
To what?
Miss Muffin, we have reason to believe that Lamb and Lennox-Brown have gone over to the other side.
You mean joined the Young Liberals?
No, damn it, they've defected. Fled behind the Iron Curtain. Oh, be quiet, child. Lord Stilton, we must get on to MI5 at once.
I can't take much more of this one. If I don't get a square meal soon, my stomach will forget what to do.
Stop fussing, too. It's just as bad for me.
It isn't. You ate half my lunch when I wasn't looking.
I was merely trying to help. I thought 2 grapes might be too much for you. And by the way, too, I wish you'd been more discreet. Fancy interrupting this afternoon's meditation session like that.
I thought I heard Indian music.
Yes, so you said. Everyone else knew it was my tummy rumbling. Now stop moaning, will you, and switch on the radio, and we'll get the news summary.
Oh, all right.
Meanwhile, the search continues for 2 civil servants who are thought to have defected with vital military secrets. Their names have so far been withheld, but it's feared there's a danger of plans for the forthcoming NATO exercise being leaked to a foreign power. Tight security is being observed on the whole case, and a government spokesman, who refused to give his name, said he had nothing to say. He later declined to confirm this. There'll be more news at 7 o'clock.
Did you hear that, too? 2 civil servants have defected.
I wonder who it is.
Just a minute. He said they were after the NATO plans. They're the ones in our office, aren't they? Well, where did you leave them?
Don't worry, One. I put them in the safe next to your plimsolls. They'll be all right there.
They won't be all right there. There's no door on our safe.
That's the point.
Look, we must get back to London at once. First thing tomorrow, we'll get to the office and make sure those plans are still there.
But tomorrow's Saturday, one. I don't like going to the office on weekdays. I couldn't go on a Saturday.
This is a national emergency. We haven't any option.
And what about this course?
Oh, hang the course, too. I've had enough of it anyway. Get your things together and we'll creep out under the wire.
Actually, it's quite fun being in the ministry when it's empty, isn't it? There isn't a soul in the place.
That's no excuse for your sliding down the banisters. I wonder you had the energy after our stay at Surley Hall.
I think it's made me more agile, one. I've kept that portfolio of exercises Mr. Hale gave me.
You must be a glutton for punishment.
He said they'd make me a different person.
Oh, in that case, keep them up. Yeah. Here we are then. Now, let's hope and pray the native stuff is still in the safe.
Yes, well, it won't take long to find out. Yes, it's here, one. Just where I left it.
Thank heavens for that. Now, look, I'll leave a note for Mildred. She can send it to NATO HQ first thing on Monday. Then we shan't have to worry.
Good idea, one. Isn't it awful to think there are traitors at the ministry? I wonder who they are.
They penetrate the highest circles, too.
I saw a film where the whole staff in an office were under suspicion. And in the end, it turned out the traitor was the man at the top.
Oh, you mean like Sir Gregory?
Yes. I say, that's the thought, isn't it? Sir Gregory Pitkin, the spy in black pinstripe.
I say, it couldn't be Sir Gregory, could it?
What?
Well, I mean, he acts very strangely sometimes.
And he's been spending more money lately. You remember Splinter Woodcock's retirement present?
Yes.
When they brought the collecting box round, Sir Gregory put in twice what he usually does.
Are you sure, too?
Yes. I saw the tuppence in his hand. Do you think we ought to investigate one?
You mean go along to Sir Gregory's office and pry around? Take advantage of the fact that he isn't there?
That's right. We could go through his drawers.
Too? That would be a betrayal of trust. Heaven knows what personal stuff we might find. On the other hand, of course, I mean, if the national interest demands it,
He'd never know, would he?
Come on. Let's go and have a look round.
Yes.
Bring the paper knife. Some of his drawers might be locked.
Right.
But remember now, we're only doing this from a sense of duty.
My word, man, Sir Gregory really does himself proud, doesn't he? What a splendid office. 4 cocktail cabinets, colour TV, and a wall-to-wall desk.
Yeah, that divan looks rather comfortable.
I expect that's for Miss Bentwater when she wants to lie down for a bit.
Well, there's nothing incriminating in Sir Gregory's work tray. In fact, there's nothing in his work tray at all. Just a membership card to the Stripperama Club.
Well, look at that book on his desk. Vipers in Our Bosom, Famous Spies of the Civil Service.
Good Lord! He must be interested in that sort of thing, you see.
What?
And just a minute. There's a note sticking out in Sir Gregory's writing.
What does it say?
I've come to the end. This book has given me food for thought. I'm off to the country where I'll find some peace. Good grief, too. You see what this means?
Yes, man. Well, I think I do.
The country where I'll find some peace. This country isn't good enough anymore. He's fleeing behind the Iron Curtain.
They said 2 defectors on the news, didn't they?
No doubt Sir Gregory's taken Daphne Bentwater. One word from him and she'd drop everything.
Do you think we should do something?
Well, of course we must do something. Tell the Home Secretary. Get him on the phone. I'll look round the office for any other incriminating evidence.
I rang the number you gave me, one, but the Home Secretary's away. I left a message on his recording machine.
I'm glad, in a way, the Home Secretary wasn't there.
Really?
Of course, Sir Gregory's wrong to defect, but we can't just throw him to the wolves. We must try and save him from himself. I mean to say, he can't be all bad.
The bits I've seen look pretty awful.
There may still be time to pull him back from the brink. If he hasn't yet fled the country, perhaps we can talk him out of it.
But we don't know where he is. He won't be at his house in Hertfordshire. His wife's always there at weekends.
Now, where's his address book? He's got a cottage somewhere in Sussex. If he's still in Britain, I'll bet he's there. Yeah, this is it. Look, I'm sure this is it. Look, The Nest, Little Groping, Sussex. Right, let's get down there at once.
Well, what do you think of the cottage, Daphne? Quite a view, eh?
It's a lovely garden, Sir Gregory.
Oh, no, there's no need to call me Sir Gregory here. We're quite alone. You can use my special name.
All right, then. Funny. But you are naughty.
Me? Well, I haven't done anything, so far.
You told me to take off my clothes and come out here for a swim. But the swimming pool hasn't been built yet.
Well, no sense in waiting to the last moment. Well, why don't you join me in my double hammock? I had it specially made, you know.
But won't it throw us together?
With a bit of luck, yes. Come along, my dear. Up you get. That's the way. That's it. Now, just relax. Enjoy the sunshine.
You know, Bunny, you look quite handsome after a few drinks.
Yeah, I haven't had any drinks, my dear.
No, but I have.
Oh, what a witty little pixie you are, to be sure. Oh, and what a perfect afternoon. You wouldn't think Whitehall existed. The trouble and toil. Lamb and Lennox-Brown defecting. All forgotten. Just you and me and the song of the bird.
Oh, isn't that a lark up there?
I do believe it is. And, talking of larks, I've got an idea. Now, why don't we just sort of...
There are too many in those bushes.
What? Oh, take no notice, my dear. I expect it's the vicar and his friend. They go bird-watching, you know. Daphne, my little lotus blossom. If I said you've a wonderful figure, would you hold it against me? You tantalizing minx,
Well,
let
they
me...
just look like bird watchers. They're wearing bowler hats and carrying umbrellas. Well, look, now they're running across the lawn.
Don't do it, Sir Gregory. We know what you're planning and it's wrong.
We've come to save you from yourself.
What? What the devil you...
Look out, Bunny! The hammer!
Ah!
Sir Gregory, it's no use hiding in the stinging nettles. We're here to have it out with you.
Lennox-Brown, Lamb, you traitors, how dare you?
Stay where you are, Sir Gregory.
Oh, you're armed, I suppose. Well, there's no need for violence. No need at all. If you're after secret documents, I've plenty in the cottage.
Why didn't you overpower them, Bunny? You told me you were good at karate.
I don't want to hurt them, my dear. Oh, I know they're traitors, but remember, they were on my staff.
What do you mean, traitors? You're the traitor, Sir Gregory.
We know you're planning to defect. We came to drag you back from the brink.
Is this some devilish trick, Lennox-Brown? You're the ones MI5 are looking for. You disappeared with the NATO papers, and now you come here armed to the teeth and threaten me.
Armed? We're not armed, Sir Gregory.
You're not armed? Right, that's different. Daphne, I'm going inside to phone the police. You stay here and guard these men.
But suppose they get violent.
That's a risk you'll have to take, for the sake of the country.
No, look here, Sir Gregory.
Here's a pitchfork, Daphne. If they look like trying to escape, give them a prod in the national interest.
It was one of the worst experiences of my life, Mildred. We were kept in a police cell for 5 days.
They grilled us continuously to try and break our story.
They stood me against a wall and shone bright lights in my eyes.
Whatever did you do?
A good question. He thought it was more of his amateur theatricals and gave them a chorus of Galway Bay.
The head of MI5 came to see us in person.
Luckily, we were able to convince him we'd gone to that hydro by mistake. In the end, he seemed quite impressed.
Impressed?
Yes, he said it was clear we were complete nonentities. He told us we could go. In fact, he helped us down the front steps.
Well, we'd better get back to normal as quickly as possible. You sent back the plans for the NATO exercises?
Yes, sir. First thing Monday.
Good.
Just a minute, Mildred. You can't have sent back the NATO plans. They're still here in the safe.
I did send them off, Mr. Lamb. They was in a blue folder on your desk. It said exercises on the front.
A blue folder? They were the exercises Mr. Hale gave me, the ones from the health hydro.
What? That rubbish about yoga and loincloths and contemplation? Mildred, you must get it back at once.
It's too late, sir. The NATO exercises begun this morning.
Using the plans in the blue folder. What on earth can the troops be doing?
And here is the news read by John Curl. There were unusual scenes on Salisbury Plain at the start of today's NATO exercise. The Prime Minister took the salute at the opening march past and seemed surprised when the procession was led by the Royal Marines, clad only in boots and loincloth. They were followed by troops from the Royal Scots Guards. These men wore kilts, but broke with tradition by doing handstands in front of the saluting bench. The Women's Royal Army Corps then skipped across the parade ground in the nude. The Prime Minister said he was very impressed, but he was unable to present their commanding officer with a medal as he couldn't find anywhere to pin it.
I say, weren't the authorities
curious.
Well, oddly enough, they weren't, Mildred. Apparently the whole exercise did wonders for army recruiting.
And the film of the opening ceremony is making a fortune in the West End. The Ministry of Defence may show a profit this year.
Well, I never. But what I don't understand is why this should happen to Sir Gregory.
It was when we thought he was a spy, you see. We rang the Home Secretary, but he was away. So we left a recorded message.
He heard it when he got back on Tuesday and acted on it immediately, you see.
And poor Sir Gregory copped it.
He was foolish enough to resist arrest and became extremely abusive.
Evening all. You can come through and visit the prisoner now. Remember, you've only got 3 minutes.
Thank you, Constable. I think 1 will be enough.
Here he is. Ugly brute, isn't he? I shouldn't go too near the bars.
Hello, Sir Gregory. We've come to see you again.
I'll leave you now, then.
I can't take much more of this. I've got to get out of here.
Try to relax, Sir Gregory. You've done a beautiful job on that mailbag.
Have you brought it?
Brought what, sir?
The file, man, the file. I asked you to make me a file.
Oh, the file, yes, I remember that. I've brought you this nice, strong cardboard one. It'll keep all your papers in order.
Good grief, man, not that good a file.
Muddling through as the men from the Ministry were Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. Also featured were Norma Ronald, Ronald Baddiley, John Graham and Hilary Pritchard. The programme was written by Edward Taylor and John Graham and produced by Edward Taylor.
Time to meet the men from the Ministry. We're off for another spin in government circles with Norma Ronald, Ronald Baddiley, John Graham, and the men from the Ministry, Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. In a tiny office high above Whitehall, the staff of the General Assistance Department battle with their daily problems. Traditionally, they work as a team, but sometimes there comes a point where the leader must decide on a firm line of action.
I've studied the whole thing carefully, and I'm sure that's the right location.
You know, we've never had such a hard spot-the-ball contest.
Not if you work it out logically. That's the only place the ball could be.
But are footballers allowed to stuff the ball down their shorts?
Don't huff, Mildred. There's a lot of competitions to get through this morning. Did you bring that one from the Sunday Pictorial?
Oh, yes, Mr. Lamb, here we are. 6 pictures of girls in bikinis, and you've got to pick the best.
I like that one who's lying in the surf.
That's number 3, Maureen. And you have to write a poem about her.
Do I? Oh, that shouldn't be difficult. Now, let me see. What a beautiful sight it seems to me where the mountains of Maureen reach down to the sea.
Brilliant. Shall I write please?
Yes, please, and fill up the coupon with my name and address. Hello, what's this?
Oh, that's my entry for the Apple Snaps contest. I took it myself at home.
It's a very good photo, Mildred, but I never knew your father had a moustache.
That's not my dad, that's our dog.
Oh, that sounds like Mr. Lennox-Brown. Better hide all the papers.
I wonder why he gets so cross about these contests.
He doesn't like us doing them in ministry time. He feels we should be helping him with his crossword.
Morning, Tor.
Morning.
You both look rather guilty. What have you been up to?
Oh, nothing, sir.
We haven't been doing newspaper contests, honestly.
Yes, well, I'm glad to hear it. They're a waste of time and money.
Yes, sir.
That's the trouble with this country. People trying to get something for nothing.
Yes, sir.
Any mail for me?
There's a few memos, sir. Oh, and this letter. It's marked personal, so I didn't open it till you got here. I'll do it now.
No. I'll do that, Mildred. Don't trouble.
Oh, no trouble, Mr. Lennox-Brown. Oh, it's from Ever Smooth Razor Blades.
You entered their merry moustache contest.
Yes, well, I probably filled it in by accident on the train, no doubt. Yeah.
Well, never mind. You've won a car.
Yeah. A car? Have I? A car?
Yeah, this cardboard cut-out racing car, complete with rubber bands. It's a consolation prize.
Oh, I see. Huh. That just proves what I said, doesn't it? These competitions are a waste of time. I won't have staff doing them in office hours. And the permanent undersecretary feels the same.
Sir Gregory doesn't like staff having any fun at all. Last time he heard me whistling, he'd kick me in the passage. He's got some manners of a Barbary ape.
Careful, too. If he heard you talk like that, you'd be in real trouble.
Now then, you two, I want a word with you.
Oh, good day, Sir Barbary. Good day, Sir Gregory. Hello.
I don't know what's going on in that portion of your anatomy that passes for a mind, Lennox-Brown. But you better sort yourself out. I've a job for the pair of you. You paying attention, Lamb?
Yes, sir. I closed my eyes so that I could hear better.
Well, there's trouble up in Yorkshire. Army gunnery unit in dispute with the local people. They've got a firing range up there, but some of their shells have been going adrift and causing a spot of damage.
Oh, well, where exactly is this?
A little place called Loggerhead. The locals have complained to the Department of the Environment who are on their side. On the other hand, the Minister of Defence said the Army must practice somewhere.
Two government departments are in dispute.
Exactly. And someone else will have to sort it out.
Ah, yes. It's a delicate situation.
Indeed. It'll need the patience of Job and the judgment of Solomon.
And I suppose they're not available.
Two. As I understand it, sir, you want an honest broker to arbitrate.
Correct. If you got that into your head, you have it in a nutshell.
And you've chosen us, sir.
Now, the pair of you are to go out to Loggerheads on behalf of the government. Talk to the parties involved, the Army's commanding officer, and probably the local mayor.
Very good, sir.
Tidy up your affairs here so you can leave at once. Good Lord, what's this? The ever-smooth merry moustache contest? Have you been wasting ministry time on this rubbish?
There were some rather attractive things to be won, sir.
Government officials are not expected to indulge in such childish pastimes.
General Assistance Department? Yes, here. What? Oh. All right, I'll tell him. That was your secretary, Sir Gregory. She's heard from the Ever-Smooth people. You've won a prize in their merry moustache contest.
Oh, yes. Well, yeah. Well, I dare say my wife entered for me. Yes. Well, I won a prize, have I? The holiday in Bermuda or the colour TV?
No, sir. It's another of them assorted consolation prizes. Half a dozen plastic daffodils.
Half dozen plastic daffodils? What the devil can I do with them?
Well...
Be quiet, too. No. Let's have no more of these frivolities. I want you two at Loggerheads.
You can rely on us, Sir Gregory.
Get this gunnery business sorted out. I don't want any bungling, and I want you both on a train tomorrow morning.
I rather enjoyed that lunch, too. British Rails was quite a good steak. The wine wasn't bad either.
I wish I could have lunch on expenses.
Civil servants trade air are not entitled to that sort of thing. You should bring food with you.
Yes, my landlady did me some prune sandwiches.
Well, I mean, so long as you enjoyed yourself. Oh, and I notice you haven't been idle either.
I've always had this creative urge. And it's marvelous what you can draw on a carriage window with some heavy breathing and an educated finger.
Yes, so I see. Is it King Kong or Frankenstein's monster?
It's Sir Gregory. I was going to give him a tail, but I ran out of breath. When we get to the army camp, what sort of line do we take?
We should be firm.
Yes.
You'd better let me do the talking. I know the military mind.
You were in the army in the war, weren't you?
Oh, indeed I was. I'm not one to boast, of course, but I think I saw my fair share of action. I lived on danger, my men used to say.
You were an officer, were you?
Naturally, and a gentleman, yes. Some of those fellows followed me right through the desert, you know, and then up to D-Day and beyond.
You were actually a desert rat?
Oh. But yes, one of the gallant few, as Mr. Churchill called us. What stories we had to tell, too. I was the toast of the officers' mess.
Did you serve in England before?
Well, one or two places. They sent me round to inspire the new chaps. I did a brief spell at Loggerheads, now come to think of it. Yes.
Really? Perhaps there'll be someone there who remembers you.
Oh, chance. I mean, that was 30 years ago.
Did you have any military experience, too?
In a way. I was mail order agent for the Army and Navy stores. I went round on my bicycle.
Sorry, I meant the forces during the war.
Oh, no, I was much too young. I'll be interested to see what an army camp's like.
Sure.
Hello, Brigadier Lee Enfield speaking. About tonight's firing. Complaints from the residents, do they? Oh, nonsense. A spot of shelling will wake them up, keep them on their toes. No, I refuse to see the delegation. What do they know about artillery? It all goes over their heads. No time to talk now, Colonel. A couple of blasted Whitehall wallers coming to see me. Well, stand easy. Come in, Sergeant.
The men from the military are here, sir.
March him in, then.
Sir, this way, gentlemen.
Oh, thank you. Good afternoon, Brigadier. My name is Lennox-Brown, and this is my junior colleague, Mr. Lamb.
Are you?
Well, what's it to be, eh?
Oh, thank you. I wouldn't say no to a nice cup of tea.
No. I mean, is it to be a fight, or are you supporting the army?
You've got to be firm.
Brigadier, there have been some serious complaints from the people of Loggerhead.
One lady said a stray shell blew the roof off her outhouse, and she was in it at the time.
And what about church steeple?
Well, we rebuilt it, didn't we? Only the vicar noticed it was the wrong way up. Oh, stupid fuss some people make. You can tell these so-called citizens they're blasted well lucky to have us army chaps here. We are defending them from the Rusties, you see. Not to mention the Nippos and the Huns.
Brigadier, that war was over some time ago.
Well, it wouldn't take us long to get it going again. By the way, did you say your name was Lennox-Brown? Lennox-Brown?
I did, yes.
Well, I remember you. I thought that twitching moustache was familiar. You served in this unit in the war, under me.
Good Lord. You were Captain Lee Enfield.
And you were in my company.
Well, it was a long time ago, of course. I mean, I was only here a short while.
After he'd been a desert rat.
A desert rat? He spent the whole of his army service here, in the cookhouse.
Well, you told me.
Two. My memory plays tricks, that's all.
I'm not likely to forget you, Private Lennox-Brown. You were always up on some charge.
Private Lennox-Brown?
Leave it to. His memory plays tricks as well.
Mr. Lennox-Brown was an officer, Brigadier. He was the toast of the officers' mess.
He was a private in the catering corps, and he burnt for the toast in the officers' mess. He was the worst soldier in the army. He was in the guard room so often, he'd time to paint a huge mural of Anne Shelton on the wall of one of the cells.
Yes, well, we mustn't bore Mr. Lamb, Brigadier, spotting our wartime yarn.
Say, sir, when you speak to me, Lennox-Brown, and take your hands out of your pocket. Yes, sir. And stand up straight. You look like a pinstripe banana. What do you look like?
A pinstripe banana.
And another thing, go and polish your boots.
Yes, sir. I did ask it. Just a minute. You can't speak to me like that. I'm a civilian, no? I don't have to stay here and be insulted.
No, I'm sure you don't. The way you go on, it could happen to you anywhere.
I've formed my conclusions on the army side of this case. I shall now go and see the mayor of Loggerheads, who may receive me with more civility.
Should I come with you, Bun?
You stay here, young man. You look like a chap with some moral fiber. We may be able to talk.
Yes, well, you'd better stay, too. Perhaps you can make him see sense.
Good night, Lennox-Brown, before I put you on fatigue. Damn tinker, if you ask me. Were you an army or a navy man, Mr. Lamb?
I worked for the army and navy, actually.
No, you worked for both.
I was an agent, you see.
An agent? Oh, by George. That really takes guts to lead grit to that, eh? Nerves of steel.
Yes, and a bicycle.
Bicycle? Oh, your little joke, eh? Well done. We'll have a brandy, my dear fellow. Lennox-Brown will get nowhere with those loggerhead people, bunch of disorderly rabbits.
Order, lads! Order! Let's have a bit of order. Now then, as Mayor of Loggerhead, I call on this meeting to approve tougher action against the army.
Mr. Swan, may I say something? I said, may I say something, Mr. Swan?
What is he said, if you want to leave the meeting, you don't have to ask. Only try not to flood the washroom this time.
No, I just wanted to say we shouldn't take the law into our own hands. I said we shouldn't take the law into our own hands.
Oh, what's your row, Edgar? You stand there clutching your manifesto.
But I've never exercised it, Mr. Swan. I said I never exercised it. The ministry men are going to help us.
Ministry men? They're no use. They couldn't sell a tiger skin to a naked tiger. No, we've got to fight for our rights.
Here. Direct action. That's what's called for.
Oh, hello, Miss Flynn. You got the weather?
Yes, it's early closing day. I'm sorry I'm late. I was filling the banner for our protest march.
That's the idea. They've ignored our letters. This march will show them we mean it.
We'll storm the gate. If the soldiers try to stop us, we'll stop them. Dump off the veil chauvinist pigs.
Thank you, Germaine. Now, that's the spirit we want. We'll stage a sitting round the guns, so they'll not be able to fire them.
Oh, that sounds a bit drastic. I said that sounds a bit drastic.
The army authorities have been ruthless.
Aye, and we'll show them we've even less room.
The only way to silence that big gun is to put a man down the barrel.
A man down the barrel? It'll have to be a pretty brave man. I said it'll have to be a pretty brave man.
He'll have to be brave. Whether he's pretty or not is beside the point.
Put a man down the gun. It's an idea. But can we find a man of the right caliber?
Every cause produces its own marker. There's always someone to step into the breach.
Oh, good afternoon, everyone. This is the Loggerheads Action Committee.
Ah, that's right, lad.
Oh, well, I'm Lennox-Brown from the Ministry, and I've been asked to arbitrate in your dispute with the army.
Well, we're not opposed to arbitration as long as we get our own way. Those blasted shells go whistling overhead. They make life impossible at bedtime. I'm not having it.
The army has ridden roughshod over our protest.
Well, I can believe it, madam. I've seen the commanding officer and formed the most adverse impression. I'm on your side.
Well, that's good news, Mr. Lennox-Brown. Sit down, why don't you? Edgar, give the gentleman your chair.
Oh, I said, oh.
Thank you. Well, perhaps we could discuss the whole matter. Give me all the details.
Well, I think that concludes our business. Mr. Lennox-Brown will advance our cause through official channels. The rest of us will continue with the peaceful protest we previously discussed.
And we shall win. I'm not going to let a bunch of soldiers get on top of me.
I'll now declare this meeting closed. Wake up, Edgar, the meeting's over.
I heard, Mr. Swan. There's no need to repeat yourself. I said there's no need to repeat yourself.
Oh, come on then. We've things to arrange for tonight. Bye-bye now, Miss Friend. Mr. Lennox-Brown.
See you later. I said see you later.
Yes, well, I better be off too, Miss Prim. As I understand it, you're calling on the army this evening to complain.
One moment, Mr. Lennox-Brown. I think we've met before.
Oh, have we?
You were a soldier here at Loggerheads, weren't you? Many years ago.
Well, yes, I was. Matter of fact, when war came and Britain called her young lions to pray.
And you used to go to the Nazi canteen. You drank your tea from an old chipped mug. Usually somebody else's.
The Nazi? Yes, I did. Good Lord. Your Elsie friend. You served in France, didn't you?
That's right. I suppose I've changed in 30 years.
Anything else, Elsie? We called you.
And I had a nickname for you, didn't I? Tiger.
Tiger. My word, so you did, yes. Oh, how the memories come flooding back. The hokey-cokey of Saturday night.
Sharing our all sorts at the pictures.
Those long summer evenings behind the listener house.
With that glorious view across the bay.
I never saw it, you know. My glasses start steaming up.
I've always remembered you, Tiger. I kept those cuttings from your moustache.
Well, Ronald. Oh, it's good to see you again. I'm glad I might be of some help in your campaign.
Why don't you come with us when we call on the army this evening? We're all marching up the hill together.
Oh,
Well, I'd like to join.
We want you in the van.
Oh, good. Yes, well, my marching days are over, I'm afraid. My feet aren't what they were.
No, the vanguard. You'll be leading the march.
Oh, dear me. Well, no, I don't really...
Come along, Tiger. Surely your fire hasn't burnt itself out. Tiger, burning bright. You lead us up that hill tonight.
Thank you for showing me round the gun sight, Brigadiers. All very impressive.
Enough to put the wind up the cherries, eh? Try anything here and we blast them off the face of the earth.
About these local people, Brigadier.
We can't blast them, unfortunately. The War Office won't allow it. Mind you, we don't have to stand any nonsense. They're threatening a protest march this evening, you know.
Yes.
Let's hope your colleague proves a moderating influence. Is he a moderate man?
Oh, yes, he's moderate to the point of mediocrity.
Well, if they do march up here, we're ready for them. I notice the BBC are expecting trouble. They've sent a newsreel van and cameras.
Oh, dear. Someone's tipped them off about the protest march.
If they haven't organized it themselves. You know what these damn BBC fellows are like. Bunch of pansies with no hair pullovers. Look at them. They're getting all set to film the action.
Yeah, I think this corporal wants a word with you.
Excuse me, Brigadier.
Oh, it's you, Trevor. How's everything?
Oh, our preparations are complete, sir, for dealing with any civilian rowdiness. Anyone gets cheeky, we'll have 'em.
Well done. Good, Ned. Oh, Mr. Lamb, this is our camp orderly. Corporal Joy.
How do you do? Very nicely, thank you. All defences are fully mustered, sir, including the flamethrowers.
Now, listen to me, Mr. Lamb.
Yes, sir.
You stand by number 4 gun and look fierce. Terrify them.
Like this?
Yes. No. Your normal expression might be better. They'll think you're unhinged. Right. I'll go and infuriate the guard dogs. You look after Mr. Lamb, Trevor.
Right, sir. Now, don't be nervous, Mr. Lamb. Oh, and pardon me for mentioning it, but I shouldn't hang your brolly on that red lever. We don't want the gun to go off, do we?
No, we don't. Hello. Someone's coming over from the BBC van.
Oh, what say is that Scotch chap with the beard and the funny hat? I've seen him on telly.
Good evening. Well, you probably gathered down Fort Robinson from the BBC.
You're here to cover the protest march.
But I don't want to be involved in any roughhouse. There's a lot of valuable BBC equipment here, including myself.
Quite right, Mr. Robinson Ducky. Now, why don't you set up your gear on the roof of the nest? You get a perfect view, and no one can touch you. If that's what you want, of course.
Thank you very much. I'll do that.
We'll send someone up with a flask of hot porridge.
I shouldn't think they'll march now. You know, I expect my colleagues to calm them down.
Man to the defenses, prepare for action.
Oh, dear.
The enemy are coming.
The enemy?
Those damn civilians. They've started to march up the hill with banners and placards and that sort of rot.
Well, we're ready for them, sir.
Oh, indeed we are. Ugly-looking bunch. And I've been watching the leaders, whom I do not tell us. Some real firebrands there, I can tell you. Never saw a more villainous pride. They look capable of anything.
I hope we're not frightening the army, you know. Do we need to march any further? We've established our point, haven't we?
Nonsense, Tiger. We can march right up the hill and into the camp, to the very guns themselves.
You've shown us the way, Lennox-Brown. We'll not back down now.
Into the jaws of death, road to 600. I said into the jaws
All
of
right, then, Jeff. Here, Jeff. Osho. Don't think I'm not in sympathy with your cause. I have a position to maintain.
Come along, Tiger. You're our leader.
That's a job I never sought, you know.
Take his arm, Mr. Swan, and take his flag. Come along, everyone. Forward march. Hands up, chest out, and swing those arms.
Well, viewers, this is Fort Robinson here, and I'm looking down on a truly amazing scene as the feud between the people of Loggerheads and their local soldiery erupts into confrontation. A protest group is now inside the camp, having marched through the town and up Fanny Hill. They're bent on sitting in around the guns. Indeed, their leader, a wild-looking man in a bowler hat, is actually being helped into the barrel of the largest gun. Now, when I say help,
I must say he appears strangely reluctant. In fact, just now he seemed to be running away from his supporters, but they chased him round the guns and grabbed him by the bofors. Well, he's in the barrel now, and I can just see his pinstripe legs kicking and waving, and with him, inside the gun, the army daren't fire it. Or dare they? My Lord!
You half-baked nitwit, Lennox-Brown. You made the problem 10 times worse. Offending the commanding officer, leading a protest march, trespassing in a gun.
Mr. Gregory, I'm not the only one to blame. It was Lamb who fired the shot.
Lucky it wasn't the gun you was in, sir.
Mr. Lamb was right to fire that gun. He did it obviously to warn off the crowd.
I did? I did, yes.
Yes. That warning shot dispersed the marchers.
It also dispersed the statue on Loggerhead seafront. Queen Victoria lost their crown and scepter and now looks like in a shop.
Don't try to detract from your colleague, Lennox-Brown. Lamb's conduct throughout this affair has been exemplary.
Is that good, Mr. Lamb?
If it isn't, I don't want to know.
But as for you, Lennox-Brown, consorting with that rabble, getting yourself locked up in the guardroom for 2 days, what did you achieve?
Well, I touched up my mural at Van Shelton.
Quiet, man. Thanks to you, the feeling between town and army is now impossible. The Minister of Defense agreed with me. The only solution was to move the army unit.
Move the army unit, sir?
Yes, and as Mr. Lamb has shown such judgment in this matter, I asked him to find an open space near London. I take it you could see them, Mr. Lamb?
Oh, yes, Sir Gregory. The unit's already moved to the new place I found. They stopped firing practice today.
Well done. Where exactly is this site?
It's not just near London, Sir Gregory. It's in London.
An open space in London suitable for a firing range?
Yes, ma'am. Look, here on the map. This big green area with the wood to the north of it. It seems almost uninhabited. There's just this cottage over here.
That's Lord's cricket ground. That's St. John's Wood and that's the cottage.
What was that?
Oh, here. Have I made a boo-boo?
And you say we start firing today?
And here is the news read by John Kerr. There were dramatic events today at Lord's where the third test match broke up in confusion. The Australian batsman Hyde-White, who had defied England's bowlers all yesterday, was finally dismissed when soldiers appeared and began firing guns. Hyde-White retired hurt when the blast blew off his bails. Players and crowds fled in confusion. The army continued artillery practice, causing some damage throughout the West End. In Parliament, an opposition MP was saying it was time the government came under fire when a shell hit him in the back benches. Several ministers are believed to have woken up. Another shell ripped a hole in the wall of London's Strip-O-Rama style. The army are sending some men to look into it.
Mr. Lamb, you seem to be enjoying these newspaper contests again. You went quite off them for a while, didn't you?
It was that army disaster last June, Mildred. It ruined my concentration.
Shame.
I began competing again 3 weeks ago. Mind you, I still can't bear to think about the army. If I so much as pass the recruiting poster, I get shooting pains.
Sure. There are some men here, see.
Oh, maybe you won a contest at last.
You've been filling in forms in newspapers again, sure.
Well, just the last few weeks, one. It gives me an interest, you see.
You would be sorry you filled in that form in the Chronicle. No doubt you thought it was some sort of contest. It was actually a recruiting form for the army.
The army? They can't recruit me for the army.
Seems you volunteered. Oh, here the two men now.
Blimey, military police.
This way, please. Now, jump to it, lads. Ease, get him up there. Get him up, boys.